back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys a whole lot for subscribing to my YouTube channel. So guys, today I'm going to be doing a quick one, and I'm going to be making it as easy as possible for you to learn how to cut and sew an 8-piece blouse. So yeah, that's what we're actually going to be doing today. I'm going to show you how to cut 8 pieces blouse. So guys, if you are new to my channel, if this is the first time of you coming across on Stylish Naija YouTube channel, I would appreciate if you will hit on the subscribe button on the side, and then you see the notification bell. Also, there's a bell, so just hit on the bell and then you click see all notifications for you to see all notifications whenever I upload a new video. So that's just like basically the essence of that. And I appreciate all of you that follow me on all of my social media platforms. So if you have not followed me on Pinterest, please, I just opened my Pinterest account. Please, I would really appreciate your support for you guys to come and follow official Stylish Naija. Just type Stylish Naija, you would see me, and then you start following to get beautiful pics, and then some tutorials that you miss here, I normally post them there also. So let's just get started. So I have my pattern paper already laid out, so I'm just going to keep this to the side. This is going to be the front of my pattern, so I'll just drop this right here. Okay, so this is my pattern. So I have some lines, some basic lines already laid out on my pattern. So the first line that I have here is my shoulder line, so I'm going to use this as my start up line. And then my bust line, which is from the shoulder to to the nipple, that's bust point, is 10.5, and then from the shoulder to under bust is 14.5, and then I have my waist as 18 inches, and then the full length of my blouse is actually 25 inches, but you could see my pattern paper is not up to 25 inches, it is 24. So when I'm transferring to my fabric, I'm going to put that into consideration and then increase the length of my pattern. So let's just get started now. So I'm going to be making a basic bust here. So this is just like the easiest way for beginners that really do not know how to cut this 8 pieces gown. It does not have any joining, does not have any waist joining, any peplum joining, but we're still going to be creating out the peplum. So that's basically what we're doing. You could see the picture up there. So we're going to be drafting a basic blouse, just a normal blouse. That's what we're going to draft, and then I'm going to use the basic blouse. That's what I'm going to transfer to my 8 pieces. So it is really simple. This is like the simplest, simplest method. Yeah. So let's just get started without the first thing we're going to do now on our pattern paper. This is my shoulder measurement. I'm going to measure out my bust span. My bust span, for people that don't know, bust span is from one nipple to another. So the bust span measurement that I'm using for this is actually 4.5 inches, and then I'm going to add ½ inch to make it 5 inches. So for this dress, I'm actually going to be adding a zipper to the front, but when I'm transferring to my fabric, I'll show you how to achieve that. I'm not drafting that on my pattern. So I'm just going to mark the 5 inches on the bust line to my hem line. So this is the fabric that I'm going to use to cut it out. So I just keep it on the side. So I've drawn out my bust span line. So the next thing I'm going to do, so this is my bust line, under bust, waist line, and then this is the full length. So I'm going to come to my under bust measurement on my under bust point like this. Now I'm going to mark 1 inch to the right, and then I'll mark 1 inch to the left. I'll come to my waistline also 1 inch to the right. So this is like the easiest bustier method for beginners. So this video is done with beginners in mind. I would have said let me do a princess dart pattern, but I'm just going to do this pattern so it will be easier for beginners to grab. Maybe in another subsequent video I could do that. So this is 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. So from this point now, I'm going to connect this point to this point, and then connect. Okay, I'll connect these 2 points first. Let's just connect them together to make it easier. The 1 inch that we measured, you connect this like this, and then I'll connect this one also like this. So this is the dart now. This is for the dart. So from this point now, I'm going to connect to this point now. So I'm going to use, so you could decide, I could decide to make use of my straight ruler like this, or I could decide to make use of my pattern curve. So I'm just going to make use of my ruler. We're still going to blend it out properly. So from this point also, I'm going to, you see I'm making something like a triangle. So from this point now, I'm going to come to this right hand side. I'll measure in 1 inch on my shoulder line. So I hope I'll measure 1 inch to this side, and then on this side I'll measure ½ inch. So this you could do 1 inch also, but I choose to do ½ inch to this side, and then 1 inch to the right hand side of the shoulder. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to connect these lines like this. So I brought it back to this point, and then from this one I'm going to bring this one to this point. Okay, so we don't want, you could see this part is looking a little bit pointy. So since we don't want those pointy edge, I'm just going to take my pattern curve like this, and then I'll place it like this. So once I place like this, I see the curved edge. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to blend it like this, and then it becomes smooth and round. And then this same one also, I'm going to place it like this. So once I place, so I could see the angle where it is pointy. So I'm going to just curve it like this. So you could see it's blended now. So the next thing, and then for the down part, I'm just going to extend it down. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do now, we're done with our drop. So all of these points, they are going to be eliminated. We're going to eliminate all this part. This is our dart lines. The next thing we're going to do now, we're going to take out our full body measurement. And in taking out the full body measurement, the first measurement you are going to bring into this pattern now is the shoulder measurement. And for this pattern, the shoulder is 16 inches. So I'm going to take my tape like this. I'll place it here. When you divide 16 into 2, you have 8 inches. That's for beginners that don't know. This is 8 inches. And remember this dart line we took out, this is 1 inch, and then this is half, that's 1.5. So that 1.5, you're just going to bring it back into your pattern, or else if you cut it like that, your fabric will get truncated. And then, so I've added the 1.5 inch, that's the dart on back. And then I'm going to now add my regular allowance, which I'm going to use about 2.5 inches. And then from this point like this, I'm going to measure out my armhole. I'm using 8 inches. So this 8 inches is like a standard measurement for chest line. So I'm still going to use that line as my armhole line. So I'll mark it like this, and then I'll curve out my armhole. So the next measurement we're going to add now is the bust measurement, and the bust is 42. So when you divide 42 into 4, you have about 10.5. So I'm going to take my 10.5 here. I'm going to place it here on the bust line. So this is my 10.5. And then this like ½ an inch that I'm going to lose from the mark, I'm going to add it back. And then now I'm going to add my regular allowance, which I'm making use of 2.5 inches. So this is my allowance here. So I'll mark it out now. So the next measurement, I'll just connect it like this. The next measurement we're going to add now is the under bust measurement, and the under bust measurement for this dress is actually 34 inches. So when you divide 34 into 4, I have 8.5. So you could just use your tape like this. So I'm just going to mark it here right now. And then remember these 2 inches of the dart, I'll bring it back. And then I'll add my allowance back into it. So from this point, I'm going to connect like this. And then the next measurement is the waist measurement. So for the waist, The waist and measurement that we're using for this dress is actually 38 inches. So we're going to divide into 4. All right, so we have 9.5. So I'm just going to take my tape like this. I'll place it here. I'll mark it like this. And then remember, these are 2 inches of that. We'll bring it back into the pattern. And then you add your regular allowance back into it. So from this point, I'm just going to connect like this. Okay, so the next measurement is our blouse waist. When I mean by blouse waist, that's like the top of your hip and part where the blouse is going to get to. So for this, the blouse waist, which is like the hip of the blouse and circumference, is 40 inches. So when you divide 40 into 4, you have 10 inches. So at least I know that one. Yeah. So I'm just going to mark my 10 inches here. You divide into 4. And then remember these 2 inches also. You bring it back into our pattern. And then you add your regular allowance. So I'm going to connect right now. So we're literally done with the first part of this 8 pieces and blouse. So we're done. So the next thing, I'm just going to do my shoulder slope right now. I'll come to this point. I'm not adding any neckline. I'll do that on the fabric. So I'll take this like this. I dropped with 1 inch for the shoulder slope. I connect it like this, and then I'm going to take the back piece. I want to place them together to cut out the body frame. Okay, so I'm going to place the front. This is my back pattern. I'm going to place my front piece on it like this. So the back pattern is 2 inches bigger than the front. So what I want to do, I just want to get out the body frame first before I cut out the back dart. So here is what I'm going to do. I'll cut it out right now. Okay, so we have the body frame. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to insert the back dart. So for my back dart, I'm going to use my bust and span measurement. So this is my zipper allowance point here. I'm going to use my bust span measurement, which is 5 inches. That's what I used, plus the allowance is 5 inches. I'm going to mark it like this. And then I'll connect with a straight ruler. And then for the shoulder part, I'm going to measure out my shoulder measurement. And then I'll connect it like this. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do now, I'll take out the dart from the both sides. So this is for my back dart. So I'm going to take it now from this point now, connect it up. So from this part, the top part, I'll take out half inch. I'm not going to do 1 inch. So this part is ½ inch. And then this part also is ½ inch. So I'll connect them now. So I'm going to cut it out now. So I'll show you how to do this now. So this part now, this whole of this part now, we're going to eliminate all this parts. This is just to put and shape on the back piece for us, on the back panel. So this is my back panel. So this part, I'm going to trim it properly so it sits and smoothly. Okay, so this is our back piece. And then we're going to cut out the front piece now. Okay guys, so we have our complete blouse now. So this is the front. So I'll open it for you. So this is what we're going to use now to cut out our 8 pieces blouse. It is really simple and easy. So let's just get straight to the point. So I'm going to fold out my fabric now. So we'll do the front first, and then before we do the back. Okay guys, so we're going to start creating out our 8 pieces now. So these are all of my patterns, so I'll show you how to do them, how to achieve it now. So this is the front and side and pattern. We're going to start with it with this and side and pattern. So for this, you are going to determine how wide you actually want your flares to be. So for mine, I think I'm going to be making use of about 3 inches or 3.5 inches. So I'm just going to check the both sides of my fabric, so I don't want to waste my fabric. So I have about 3.5 inches here and then 3.5 inches here. So I just want you to see it and carefully. So this is how it is, really simple and easy. So you remember that I actually reduced the length of this gown, of this blouse. So I'm just going to add back the length now. So the length is actually 25, and then I'll add 1.5 inch allowance to stitch. So this is where I'm going to stop all of my patterns, sorry, all of my markings. It is really simple. So I told you this is 3.5 inches to this side, and then this is 3.5 inches to this side. It is really simple. You are going to determine where you actually want your dress to flare from. Do you want it to flare from under bust, or do you want it to flare from your waist, or you want to come up a little bit? The owner of this dress is actually a nursing mother, so I want my flare to be from my under bust. But if it is somebody that like my size, like my shape, like this, I would come up. My flare is going to start from just maybe 1.5 inches above my waist measurement. So it's going to start from, so I will get that shape. But this, I'm going to start from the under bust. So I'm just going to come down by maybe like half an inch from the under bust. So I'll start creating my curve from this point. It is really simple and easy. So I'm just going to use ruler right now, and then I'll take this to this point also, and then I'll create out the slant. So I did something similar recently for a gown, 8 pieces gown without joining. So it's something similar. It is really simple and easy. So if you have not seen that tutorial, I'm going to drop the link to that video on the description box. So this is the side. You see how simple it is. We're just going to cut out right now, and then I'll continue with the other ones. So this is just basically what I'm going to be doing to all of them. I'm just going to be extending them. So I'm going to extend the front, the center front and pattern also. So this is the side, so you can see how beautiful it is looking. So the next part I'm going to mark out now is the middle, the front pattern. That's the center front pattern. So that's what I'm going to mark out for you to see. So I'm just going to take this like this. So I don't want to waste my fabric, so I'll refold my fabric again. Okay, you know, initially I said I was going to cut out the center front, but I just decided to leave it. Let me do the side back also. So I'm going to cut out the side back now. So we're going to go through the same process. So we're using 3.5 on this side and then 3.5 on this side. So we are just going to take it like this. So let me use this, and then just give it a good slant from this point like this. So this is our side back, and then the remaining one is the center front. So because I don't want to waste my fabric, so that is why you see I'm just trying to place them as in a way that I will be able to minimize my fabric. So that is why. So for the center front, I'm going to be adding a zipper to the front. So my zipper is going to be at the front. So so you could see this part, it's going to be at the center. So I'm just trying to get it out nicely. Okay, so I'm going to do the final piece now, which is the front piece. So this is the part I'm going to add the zipper allowance to. So I just want you to take note. So this is the waistline where we're going to be slanting from, and then this is the full length. So for the front and the zipper allowance, I'm going to use 2 inches. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mark my 2 inches like this. So you see it up to the bust line and then up to the waistline. So you see what I did now? I added the 2 inches. So I'm going to pull it close so you see it. I added the 2 inches up to my waistline. So from this point now, this is where I'm going to slant now. So I'm not coming close because there is a zipper allowance on it. So I'm just going to take it like this, and then I'm going to slant it now to those points like this. So if you want the center and piece to be very flat, you could decide to still push it in, and then from this point now I'm going to slant to this side also. So that is how you actually add the zipper to the front. So this whole part goes in, this whole part now. So once you take out your allowance, you'll be able to stitch out the allowance and then the other side. But if you want the center part to flay very well, sometimes it's really not very beautiful, you could decide to increase more this part. So but mine, I want it like this, so I'm going to cut it out right now. So you put your notch here for your zipper allowance. So guys, so you can see how beautiful it is looking. So at the end of the day, this is going to be our center piece. So I'm just going to place them for you to see. So here is how our center piece is going to look like. So you can see how beautiful it is looking already. And then the side, I'm going to add, okay, this is the side. So this is the back piece. And then here is the side. This side is going to stay like this. This side is going to stay like this. So you could see our 8 pieces blouse. It is looking so beautiful. So we have 8 pieces for the front and then another 8 pieces for the back. So you could see, I'm just so loving this gown, this blouse right now. So guys, so when you want to stitch, all you have to do is you are just going to pad your bustier the way you normally pad it. You pad it and then you start stitching. So for this, if I want to start stitching, I'm actually going to start stitching from the top down. So guys, so thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. If you find this video helpful, please do not hesitate to hit on the like button. If you have not subscribed already, please subscribe. So thank you so much.